kinetic energy. Hi, welcome to my tube. Maybe this one will work better. Because right when I started this one, a crow flew by my window. Caw, caw, caw. Mom saw a duck land yesterday. She was, Marge, I saw the neatest thing, Margie. Did I say hi? I'm Margie. I'm a Heoka. I'm an empath. I'm a contrary warrior. A rainbow tribe. Spiritual warrior. All those things. Light worker. Indigo. Star seed. All that hippy dippy stuff. That's all me. It's Cancer season. I got Cancer rising. I'm all fluid. I got a lot of Pisces in my chart, a lot of water. I'm just trying to go with the flow. I got to meditate. Did one session today, about 45 minutes. Got up, got mom lunch, and then went back down for another hour. You know, what else am I going to do? There's so much kinetic energy, man. There's just this pulse. And I can feel it across the Earth's grid. I'm sitting at the 40th parallel, 45th, Oregon. Anyway, 45th. And just, I'm trying to stay off the media, and I'm curious. I look, I peek in every couple hours, and it's getting better yet, you know? Holy heck, man. I saw one, it's the one report, it's 117 at the place I thought I was going to go to next, and I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm seeing things for what it is now, because I don't know if I can handle 117 degree temperature with the way as sensitive my system is. See, and that's the thing, is everybody's getting more and more sensitive, man. I saw a girl, 16, on Instagram, had 200,000 followers, you know, like on TikTok, I don't use that at all. I'm a little too old. That's not my thing. That's a different frequency of vibrational, folks. I'm glad people enjoy it and do what they want, and that's just not a venue I ever cared to even try. And so I guess she had like 1 million followers there, and that's the thing, is she flashed up, and then so she got big and she got important, and then the scrutiny comes, you know. People start attacking you and, you know, condemning you, and it's like, how can people have an opinion of you like that when they never met you, you know? There's just so much unrest all over the place, and I've been trying to come from a place of understanding. That's why I called this talk Primary Purpose, because everybody has one. It's okay, you can determine for yourself what it is. I'm not going to judge you for your primary purpose. I've lived the incarnation where my primary purpose was to feed my ego, and that's all it was to do, and I did everything I could to make that happen. I've been Vikings in my pack. They did a whole lot of stuff that's good. Yeah, I mean, I mean, they have their reputation for being scoundrels, you know, and I've been the scoundrel, and I ain't a saint. Now, I just am more into my spirit now, and I recognize my character defects, and I really try not to let them win on a daily basis. So I don't fault people to make their primary purpose, you know, and I hear when people say, ask them, you know, or they talk about, you know, well, I have to work, or you know, my primary purpose is to go to work to take care of my family. Well, there's plenty of people that have taken care of their family without being away from their family all the time. You know, I mean, you got to find out what's really important in life and not. I went down a little ant hole today with DT, the president, and I didn't, because I'm trying to Donald Trump, because I'm trying to understand his mindset, where he comes from, and his heart's why he acts the way he does today, because of, you know, maybe the way people act before in his family. So I just hung out on some Wikipodium, and it's really similar. It's funny how his storyline, because all these families only have so many dynamics that they can live out. I mean, how many dynamics can a family have? Either you're kind and loving, you come from a kind and loving, close-knit family, or you don't. Bottom line. And you can act like, you know, people can put up charades and act like you come from one kind, but really it's the other. It don't matter. That's your psychology, that's your path, that's for you to figure out. So my history was, my grandpa, he liked to drink. He was a Leo. I get that from him. Yeah. So he had odd jobs and stuff, but you know, with our spirit, you mouth off, you got a bad attitude, you know, people don't want to be around you. So he had trouble in life sustaining employment, from my understanding, here and there, you know. He had 3 kids with my grandma. My grandma got her real estate license when she was 41, 42. And if I look at his parents, it's like the same kind of thing. It's like the only thing is his dad died when he was a young age. He didn't like succumb to the disease of the spirit-taking disease of alcoholism. His dad died. So that was a trauma in his life. That was not something, you know. And incidentally, died of the Spanish flu. I gotta make sure I got these notes right. Because I looked at him, or his grandpa Fred. His grandma, oh, yeah, that's interesting. His grandma's name was Elizabeth Christ. Yeah. And his mom's name was Mary. No wonder people think he's like some, you know. No, I just think he's a businessman still. I'm holding out for the best we'll see, you know. Everybody always, we're going through right now, we're teetering between our spirit, you know. And I think, you know, that made me, okay, before I get too far off on that tangent. So, his grandpa Fred was 16 when he left Germany. So his grandpa left Germany, came over here because the word on the street is he was dodging the draft in his homeland. So he came over here, and then when he went back, they're like, you're a scoundrel, get out. So he kind of got evicted out of his own country to become, you know, and then decided to stay in America. And then he started his fame and fortune in a restaurant / brothel. Yeah, that was his grandpa. He was a Pisces too. If that means anything. And then his dad, maybe it was his grandpa or his dad? How come I didn't write that down? I thought I wrote that down. I really thought oh. Did I take a snapshot? Spanish flu. There weren't a lot of clouds in the sky today, but there were some angelic clouds today. They were very, very angelic. They were wispy, and when I say angelic, it's just things that make you feel like in a I got to spend like an hour outside with the cat because it was hot today, but for some particular reason, I managed to keep it pretty cool in the house. So I'm always like adjusting fans with airflow and things like that, trying to make things better. Let's see. So his dad was only like 48 when he died. So that was a blow. And he was the youngest, you know. So his world changed. So I can relate to him on that level, you know. And I'm pretty sure I loaded it, but evidently the internet feels like it does what it feels like when it wants to. And it looks like my stream is choking out again. I just want to verify this before I go on to the next part of my story about what I think about this. No, he died when he was 93, so it was his grandpa that died. So it was on his dad's side, it was his grandpa that died when he was 48. 50. And that's when, and then his wife, yep, and then she took over the reins, just like my grandma did when my grandpa just was like, ah. So she's like, well, I got to take care of, I got to make sure I'm taken care of. So she didn't even have her driver's license. She got her driver's license when she was 41 years old. So DT's grandpa died in 1819 of the flu epidemic. So if you don't think this is like triggering some sort of karmic something in him as a human, I don't know. Maybe his ego's that big. I don't know. With his, if he has kids, I think he's got his spirit in there more than he lets on. He's like me. He's like a big softy, but he's just, anyway. In the storyline of incarnate, that's why I'm seeing so much fear right now, and so many people just freaking out, because that's what our spirits do. We'll freaking keep the same spirit. That's why these epidemics happen. It's supposed to freaking shake society, civilization, like the rugs off, the ants off a dog. It's just supposed to shake and get rid of it. It's clear. It's survival of the fittest, unfortunately, not in necessarily just a physical way, but in a spiritual way too. See, because if your mind ain't right, it don't matter how freaking fit your body's gonna be. So people's frequency, their vibrations get stuck in a loop. So, like his grandpa died in that epidemic, and now, it's these spirits that are reborn, and that's maybe he's healed the karma in his family line, so now he's healthier, because he is a healthy guy from what I understand. I don't know, he's a big guy, but not all big people are unhealthy, and that's a misconception too. Because sometimes I say here, I'm like, I say fat in a term that's loose, and people would easily find offense to it if they so choose. And the reason why I say it is because so many people called me fat that it just became just another, okay, you and 1,000 other people see me as fat, But there were so many other things that I was. Anyway, so many spirits are on the earth right now. Just maybe I could be wrong about all this. Just they're remembering about that time in history, 1918. It was only 100 years ago, and they didn't know the numbers then either. Hi, Papas. There's a good boy. I mean, they make up the number. They've made up the number. How are you gonna know in 1918 that it infected 500 million people? How do you know in 1819 how many people are on the planet? They didn't even have computers then. Would everybody just like send each other a letter, sign this roster if you're alive on the planet right now, and pass it on to the next person that you see? They make this stuff up, man. They willy-nilly, and then they pay themselves exorbitant amounts, and then they're playing both sides to stroke the fire, to freaking get people to freaking react, to stimulate the economy. It's like Trading Places, that movie. I mean, people have done it. People have made people act. People have made other people act based on their own freaking twisted ideas since the beginning of time. That's why there's people that designate themselves kings and queens, and why does one person have to be in charge? Oh, because their ego makes them a dictator. A dictator. So the death toll may have been anything from 17 million to 50,000. Well, good thing they didn't start the bailouts back then, because think about what the budgets would be now, huh? They just make stuff up, man. There's no way to... And then I just see people on all sides just going, they're just fighting against themselves. They're fighting against themselves, against their own belief system. So I try and understand where they're coming from. So I spent some time today, meditating. Well, I got to meditate about an hour and a half solid. I think everyone in the whole world should meditate and unplug from the freaking kinetic energy, which is the insanity of the world. It doesn't matter what your world is, we're finding out that it's different. Even me, in some capacity. I can't stand when people think I'm a know-it-all. I don't like that, because I know the older that I get, the less I know. I don't believe in one reality. I never have believed in one reality that's going to be true, because there's too many elements and contingencies. And I had to learn a long time ago that I couldn't rely on other people for my happiness, because people just like to watch me be unhappy. Because all the people that I learned how to attract were like the people that were, taught me about people, my family. And they were unhappy. So I learned a long time ago from some higher calling, unbeknownst to me, I just started freaking making fun of stuff and looking at the humorous sides of things and trying to find the silver lining. Because every time I paid attention, I was surrounded by people that took good situations and made them bad. And I grew up in an environment that I just had bad situation after bad situation, so I had to find the good. See, that's it within each and every one of us. People are really going to need to learn restraint. And to reach out and talk to people and have time to just freaking be with yourself, to get to know yourself. And when I do that, when I meditate, I'm like, okay, what hurts? What needs addressing? What, plug in with yourself. So, I don't want to ramble on too long. I just thought it was interesting about how his storyline is interjected with that woven, and that's all I'm trying to do is heal karmic, ancestral karma in the vibrational frequency of the collective, both on my mother and father's side. Father's side was too much ego. Mom, she's adopted. We don't even know anything about that. I thought I was my whole life, people were a jerk to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I found out I'm brown. Because I just always put white Caucasian on everything, because, I don't know. I was a dumb kid. Still am a dumb kid. Then I find out later, there's not really actually a whole lot of white of you there much at all there, Marjo. Not really a whole lot. So, and then, I'm like, wait a minute. Color doesn't matter. Freaking, and then why isn't everybody the same on this planet if the planet's the same? Oh, because we're different starseed species. I think it's really funny that we are on a rock flying through space, and the majority of the population of this planet consider everything outside of its population of Earth as alien, but we aren't alien. That is so weird to me. We are aliens on an alien ant farm. And all we're supposed to do is learn, are we going to be more in spirit or more in ego? Maybe a nice combination of both. People don't know their limits. They don't, because they haven't had a lot of stressful situations, and the really stressful situations are coming up. So, I hope people find their grounding. I hope they're plugging in with people, making friends, connecting. Keep that connection going, man. And touch people. Not enough touch in the world. I'm always, oh, Mom, I love you. Not putting on her face, but I'm giving her kisses, and I'm hugging her every day, and I'm telling her I love her several times a day. And that is healing within itself. Just loving is healing. And the thing of it is for me and people I think that are close in frequency to me, when I was little, I got in the mindset that that high vibrational love that makes you feel good, you know, when somebody hugs you and just, oh, just kisses on you and stuff. It was such a high vibration that it scared me. Yeah. Kind of like when I touched the electric fence with both hands. I completed the circuit. Yeah. So, oftentimes, you know, I recoil from that, you know. So, anyway, if you don't understand something, I just recommend about, you know, taking some time and maybe asking questions, see about where they're from, you know, see about, you know, maybe some of the, you know, what scary things that happened in their life, some of the challenges they had to overcome. Maybe people, if they reach each other in a heart space of that, you know, maybe all that other stuff won't matter much about any freaking stupid political party or any other reindeer game, because at this point, man, people are just gonna be drawn to source, you know. Once people lose their will to live, you know, that's when any virus can take over, really. You know, something somewhere and somebody loses something. They're just like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's too hard, you know. So hang in there. Hang in there. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace. In stream. In stream.